welcome to Two Wheels Extra.
And welcome to a big, shiny Scooters special edition of the show.
Yeah, that's right. This week, there's no bikes, just scoots. Watch out behind because I may be sneaking up on you as I test drive one of the world's first electric scooters. It's clean, green and doesn't make a sound.
And just to show willing, Fran and I will indulge in a taste of real life as we try hacking through the city traffic on a couple of scoots.
And we look at a unique shop that combines biking with a hint of fashion.
All of this and much, much more on a special small-wheeled edition of Two Wheels Extra. But first, we're concentrating on getting out and looking good with two of the coolest, funkiest scooters on the market today. Hey, Fran? Just because you're limited to 50cc doesn't mean you have to be limited on style. Oh no, so we're going to take a brief look at two of the most stylish scooters currently available. They are the Honda Shadow and my chosen steed, the Aprilia Habana 50cc Custom. Definitely a stylish little machine, beautiful and pretty in powder blue with all the essential custom touches. Okay, it ain't fast, but it sure looks good. For scooter riders who really care about the way they look, let's face it, posers, these have got to be the machines. Chrome abounds on headlights, on handlebars, on wing mirrors, all over the place in fact. Both have extended rear fenders to give that authentic custom look. There's actually very little different under the surface, but on the surface, oh my goodness, these really are stylish scoots.
The Honda Shadow really did surprise me. OK, the 50cc engine only provided enough power to tootle around, but with the comfiest of seats and an armchair-style riding position, who cares? Now this might sound crazy, but with these wide handlebars, this scooter actually feels like a miniature Harley. But you do have to watch them when you're filtering through traffic, as you don't really want to be putting any stripes down the sides of cars. Now the acceleration is great and the handling is pretty good too. But the power, well, it's not all that really. But to be quite honest, you just look cool. It's actually made me feel quite special with all the chrome, customised tail fins, etc. I felt pretty good. Actually, I could honestly say I want one.
If there's one thing at which both of these scooters excel, it's turning heads. Probably more effectively than the Harleys that they mimic in baby form. When it comes to performance though, well, there's not a lot to choose between them. At the Traffic Light Grand Prix, that one will leave this one behind, but once this one's up to speed, I'll be edging ahead. But hey, this is about laid-back cruising, scooter style. Yeah. Remember the series Mr. Ben? He used to go into that interesting little shop every week. Well, there aren't many like that still around, but we found one, and they sell scooters.
I've been in this unit for 12 years. I started out as menswear. And then, you know, in the early 90s, the recession was in menswear and the recession just didn't mix. I was very bored with menswear and I just started a bike shop. I had 5 bikes at the time, ripped out the carpet, put the clothes to one side, put bikes in the other, and it just took off. It was just brilliant. We sold 2 bikes our first week. Coming from the fashion business, because the shops it was a fashion shop before, we just took everything out, all the shelving and everything stayed in. So the look of the shop is quite unique in the sense it was never designed as a motorcycle shop. It just was a menswear shop with now all this motorcycle paraphernalia in it. And that's what we're doing. I try and do stuff that's fashionable. And I don't like the word fashion. It's so you don't look like you've just come off a motorcycle, walked into a pub and everyone goes, oh, have you just come off a motorcycle or a scooter? We're trying to make everybody look normal, yet incorporate all the protection in proper motorcycle clothing, i.e. armour, waterproofing, safety. Something has to be incorporated in the equipment we sell. I'm actually interested to find out what's going to happen in 2005. What kind of machinery we're going to have. You have the MV Brutal, which is an incredible looking machine. The Sachs have brought out something crazy. As long as the prices are realistic, we'll be all right. However, the bigger the other shops get, the more corporate they get, the bigger my market actually becomes, because there's more people that want to shy away from it. So I can't really lose.
You're in the city and you're in traffic. A scooter is a great way to get about. It has low fuel consumption and low emissions, very environmentally friendly. But what happens if your scooter doesn't need any petrol, doesn't have any emissions at all, and it's silent?
Well, whilst Fran wafts about in an eerie silence, we can find out whether electric scooters are going to be the way of the future.
Roy, why have we not seen electric scooters before? Because it seems to make a lot of sense. Why have we never seen them?
Realistically speaking, there have been electric vehicles out for some time. As scooters are now increasing in the market share, it's only now that people have actually started to take things like electric scooters seriously.
It is kind of a logical progression because they're small, environmentally friendly. Does this thing here represent a big breakthrough in technology to do it though?
No, not really. It's just a question of taking a standard generic scooter design and putting an electric motor in it. There are fringe benefits to that. For example, the motor itself has a lifetime guarantee. The bike itself comes with a 1-year guarantee, and there aren't really any servicing costs.
Yeah, because presumably there's only about 2 moving parts on the thing. There's not a lot to go wrong.
Yeah, virtually that, yeah.
What about using it? Because that's the other thing people say is, yeah, great, you can get to the end of your drive and then you'll have to come back.
Well, in terms of charge, it takes 6 hours to charge fully. 3 hours, I believe, is something like an 80% charge. What one does is literally just plug in from under the seat.
It's got a proper plug. I've just got to plug my bike in there next to the shaver, right? So you just like plug that in your garage.
Just plug it in, leave it overnight, and voila, Bob's your uncle.
And how far will you go on that charge then? 8
You'll
hours?
do about 40 miles or thereabouts.
And
realistically speaking though,
you don't want to be going 20 miles from home and hoping you can get back though, do you?
Well, initially the batteries do take time to bed in, like for example mobile phone batteries.
Yeah.
They won't charge properly unless they're actually used. So feasibly speaking, if the bike is used, there's no reason as to why it won't
Should be able to do
charge.
it. What about the kind of speed you're going to be going at for that distance? Are they very slow or?
Well, it's classed as a moped. So although the designers can make it quicker than 30, by law it has to stick to 30. And obviously if they made it quicker, it would compromise battery life as well.
The scooter, let's be honest, doesn't cost a fortune to run anyway because they don't use much fuel. An electric one, is this going to be even cheaper?
Oh yeah, much cheaper. Don't forget with a normal scooter, you've got 2-stroke fuel.
Yeah.
2-stroke oil, you've got normal fuel. Realistically, when it's on full throttle the whole time, which a lot of them are,
Yeah.
it goes through all those 2 items, very, very quickly. With this, what you see is basically what you get. It's twist and go. You plug it in and charge. We checked with one of the electricity boards. It's something like 16p an hour to charge.
Excellent. Well, doubtless we'll see more of these around. And I know that Fran's been trying it.
It's quite funny, to roll back the throttle and for nothing to happen, at least not to hear anything. The only way you know you're accelerating is by watching the speed and the scenery go by. This thing is quite strange. Oh, and I mustn't forget about the big red switch. No, it's not the kill switch, it's the economy button. Hit this thing and you can go for miles.
Scooter is fantastic. It feels a little bit strange at first because it's so silent, but it's so smooth as well. It pulls away effortlessly. So if all you have to do is commute to and from work a few miles every day and you don't want to break the speed and sound barrier, why not go electric?
Join us after the break for more on this week's Scooter Frenzy 2 Wheels Extra. We'll be checking out some scooter fashion, and Fran and I will be experimenting with some real city centre scootering right in the middle of London. Can't wait. Welcome back. Coming up in this half of the programme, Fran and I check out some essential scooter fashion, and we'll be topping it off with a selection of scootering lids. That's helmets to you and I. But first, we make for the city centre and the busy traffic for the environment where a scooter is the best. It's really not all that difficult to see why scooters have finally caught on in the UK.
They're small, efficient, they look groovy.
And best of all, they're actually quite fast. City dwellers who commute daily will be all too familiar with this scene. You set off in suburbia, and before you know it, you hit the solid wall that is city traffic. And that's the very reason that drives loads of people onto scooters in the first place. Nothing can cut through traffic like a scooter, so we thought we'd have a crack at it, tackling for ourselves the busy London city streets. And boy, are they ever busy.
So from quiet suburban streets to the urban jungle. It can be a bit daunting at first, but I found that I soon got the hang of this London two-wheel commuting thing. Weaving in and out of cars that are simply just sitting still gives you a feeling of, well, yeah, take that. I must admit though that I was glad to be on a 50cc, more power or a twitchy throttle and you could end up in a messy situation. 30 miles per hour maximum is plenty for anyone, I'm sure.
Now, I've done this before, an old pro you might say, but to be honest, most of my London hacking has been on a bike. This was one of my first times on a scoot, and suddenly it does feel very different. Somehow you feel cheekier on a scooter, more manoeuvrable, quicker even, and there is nothing more satisfying on a small machine than leaving behind the likes of an R1. My scooter, in case you're wondering, beneath the rather leery paintwork is a 180cc twin-cylinder Gilera, and boy does the thing go! Between the lights, it is unbelievable. Mind you, on streets like these, as any regular scooter commuter will tell you, top-end speed is irrelevant. It's 0 to about 20 miles an hour that's the crucial point. In all, it's been a valuable lesson for both Fran and me. You don't need a big bike. You certainly don't need a car. When it comes to city streets, the scoot is definitely king, albeit a small one.
And now it's time for this week's fashion.
And as we're talking scooters on this week's programme, we're talking scooter kit, and we're already dressed because we're looking at kit that doesn't kind of look too much like bike.
You're looking funky.
Thank you very much.
What are you wearing?
Well, my trousers, these actually aren't like in a baggy style, they're just too big for me. These are by Gialli. They cost £90. Now, they're not just ordinary jeans, obviously. They have a bit more protection. There's some down the side, some in the knee as well, a bit of Kevlar in there. You can add to that and have even more, and they cost £90. My jacket is by Dainese. They call it the scooter jacket, and I think it's extraordinarily funky.
Very good.
Waterproof, it's got a zip-out lining inside to keep you nice and warm in winter. It's got a double zip at the front, and incredibly, armour in there, and armour in here as well. So you'll be absolutely safe, but look at the biz.
And it looks like the hood's detachable too.
I believe it probably is.
It is.
And extremely comfy. And then on my hands, these are great, because they're not too expensive. They're what, £40? They're not too bad. Dynamic Cruiser by MQP. They're waterproof, but they're really soft leather. Feel those. Feel how soft that leather is. And under a jacket like this, they just could pass for ordinary gloves, couldn't they?
They could.
Ordinary. Very nice.
Would
Fran?
you like to know what I'm wearing now?
I'd love to know.
I'm wearing Shishoni jeans.
Bless you.
Shishoni jeans.
Bless you, my dear.
Now these are £60.
Right.
But they're double lead, but there's no Kevlar in it. But what you can do is add your armour.
Put it in.
They're £15, and
Cool.
they just Velcro in the knee like that, which I
nice.
think is quite cool.
Nice and safe,
This
they look like
is a Furigan jacket,
Very
and
nice.
it's £195. Now it's really just kind of a fashion leather because there's no armour in it or anything.
Yeah.
But it's leather and Cordura, so it's
very
quite
funky,
good
isn't
and waterproof. And these are Alpine Stars. These are 30 quid.
Those, I think, are gorgeous.
I feel like Michael
They're
Jackson.
Very foxy. Whatever you like. Next. Right then, we're getting a bit more serious with the jackets now. Same jeans. What have you got?
I've gone retro. Yes, I've got a Daisy US 70 jacket on. Now, this is fantastic, actually. I think it's very
Very
nice
funky.
and very stylish. Now, it's made from Gore-Tex,
Yeah.
and it has removable lining
The armour?
and removable armour. Oh, yes.
Should do
Absolutely.
nicely.
Now, get ready, because it's
Go on.
240 quid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it's worth it. I think it's stylish.
a
Now,
funky
these
thing.
are held Enduro
Right.
gloves, and they're particularly protective, and they are £50. And what are you wearing?
Well, do you know, I can't see my feet. Look at that. So look at this is by Ixom. It only costs 150 quid, so it's not as much as yours, and it is kind of armoured. And it's. Could you hold my gloves for me?
I certainly
Got to sort of
Wow.
rummage about in here, and oh, I've gone away somewhere. I'm in here. Oh, there I am. Look. Oh no, now I've undone the wrong bit. You see, Mo, where he is. You keep going.
That's
and-
not going to let the weather in, though, is it?
No, not at all, because I haven't even done this bit up. Inside there's a fleece. Super warm. It is actually very, very warm. I'm in danger of perspiring. 150 quid, 149. That's not actually bad from Ixom. These by Dainese, they are 80 notes, so they seem to be quite expensive today, but these are thoroughly waterproof, and I guess for riding through winter, ideal. But compared to ordinary bike gloves, they're quite discreet.
They are very
So for
discreet.
scooting into town on a
Quite
daily
classy.
commute. Yes, not at all bad. Next. Right, time for our final selection of scooter kits.
Oh, Richard, what are you wearing?
Well, it's funny you should ask, Fran. I'm wearing the same trousers as you, though not clearly at the same time. These are by Risha. They cost about 40, 50 quid. They're waterproof and armoured on the knees and down here as well. Very comfortable, and they'll do the job nicely for the daily commute in bad weather.
Yes.
Jacket-wise, Dainese again, 150 quid. It's called the Polemic. It's totally waterproof, totally windproof. I don't think, looks too much like a jacket
No, you
at
could
all
wear
for
that at the pub.
biking.
You could get
Yeah.
off your scooter and get in the pub.
A double zip, Hydra flap they call it, so it means there's no way will I get any raining because I'm doubly protected in there. And once again, we've got a removable lining, and typically Dainese, we've got full body armour in there, so if I do have a spill, I'll be quite safe, and this is pretty rugged stuff as well.
I just spotted a phone pocket. You poser. Look at that.
Well, you know. These are my gloves. They're about 50 quid and windproof and waterproof. Very nice indeed. What have you got?
Well, I've obviously
Oh, these
got
are
the same.
Dainese again, by the way. Sorry.
Oh, hey.
I forgot.
I've obviously got the same trousers
Same
as you.
text, very nice.
Absolutely. I've got an Xero Zephyr
I think that's really
jacket.
smart.
Yes, well, it's only £80, so it'll do for me. And it's got armour.
80 notes, that's very,
80
very good,
notes,
that,
yeah.
isn't it?
I mean, it's all
Reflective
right,
strips
really.
on it are a good idea if
Yeah,
you're going to ride
it's
in
fine,
music.
absolutely fine. I've also got the wind stoppers, which are £35 from Dainese. Quite basic,
Very
but
nice.
they do the job.
And you have something upon your
I
back.
have a rucksack. Now, could you just tell those for me, dear?
Yes.
This rucksack is pretty amazing, actually, because it has a back protector that you can zip on and off. Look at that. Pretty good,
Yeah,
huh?
very
Now,
nice.
look at this. You're going to like this. This is actually for my helmet when I'm taking my helmet.
So you can carry it
You
along.
put your helmet in there,
Round
you
hand.
tie it up, and you tie that to there. 100 quid. I reckon that's worth it.
Undercover scooter kit for this week. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Number 1. The Vima VRT at £99.95. Number 2. The Nolan N40, £99.95. Number 3. The Dainese Ergon Jet at £129.99. 4. The JHL G03 at £39.95. And helmet number 5. The BF107 at a very reasonable £29.95. Number 6. The Dainese D-Jet at £79.99 with interchangeable covers available, just like the ones on your mobile phone. You can chop and change as you like. Yeah, but we could get one in, I suppose. Let's have one, see what we make of it. Buy one. And I'll want on my money. Yeah, right. Right, that's it. My mind is made up. Next week, we're going to get serious about budget bikes. We're going to look at the kind of things you can look at with a credit card as bent and battered as mine. Things like the Dialim and the Giling. Seriously cheap stuff. Join us then for a look at the real world of sensible, cheap budget motorcycling. See you then.